Hello, hello, guys. How you doing? Hey, Bob.
What is up?
How you doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Glad you could join us tonight.
Oh, no, thank you.
Absolutely. Bob, what have you been up to this week?
Trying to do deals, brother.
Awesome. I saw you were reading a book called The Freedom Formula. How was that?
Freedom Formula. That's a pretty good one, man. So I read the 4-Hour Work Week prior to that, and that one's chock full of all kinds of information and things that some action items that are out of it. And then the Freedom Formula kind of broke it down in a way that is a little bit more digestible, I guess. So yeah, that was a good one.
Gotcha. Did you finish it?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it said like growing your business without sacrificing your family, health. Have you felt at any time that any of those things were sacrificed on your journey?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm constantly I guess trying to balance that out, right? Because as an entrepreneur, I'm feeling it now because I just recently went full time. I'm still active duty. I'm an active duty soldier here at Fort Bragg. And I'm now in this internship program where 6 months or so prior to getting out, I'm able to go full time into real estate.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, I'm starting to feel it was really bad when I was working full time as a soldier and trying to do real estate on top of that. But just like in the last week or so, I'm full time real estate. So it's kind of smoothing out a little bit.
So congrats on going full time real estate, and also thanks for your service. So you mean to tell me that you've been doing 2 to 5 deals per month while you're not even full time?
Yeah, it's been part time for sure. Well, yeah, I guess part time.
That's really impressive.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks. I'm glad you shared some of that background. And tonight everybody kind of wants to hear about you. Is there anything else that you want to walk us through, just so everyone has like the right context? Like, how long you've been doing this, and do you have any partners? Did you fail at getting this started at some point?
So yeah, really, I started, with the intent of being an investor. The very first real estate transaction I did was I purchased a rental.
Okay.
Right. So, and I had a real estate agent that represented me, bought it off the MLS, did that whole deal. It was a decent little deal, but I realized that there's other things out there than, I actually purchased my second property off the MLS. And then, somehow, David Lecko popped up in my news feed or whatever. And I was like, let me check out this driving for dollars thing. And just like you, I heard you, portions of your story and a lot of other people, I started driving for dollars by writing it on the napkin. Yep. That hopefully at some point down the road, I would skip trace them and follow up and all that stuff. And yeah, that didn't work. So
it didn't work?
Well, I never followed up with them. I never skip traced them. I never sent them mail. Yeah. So then, but started driving for dollars with DealMachine and got my first deal.
And when was that first deal?
When was it? I actually looked it up a little bit ago. It was like a year ago.
Okay.
Last week was my first deal.
Awesome.
My first wholesale deal.
So do you recall like how many properties did you have in your DealMachine account when that first deal occurred?
I didn't have a lot. I just started.
Oh, okay. So you got lucky.
I guess you can say I got lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, you put yourself in the position. But what about the next deal? When did the next deal come?
Oh man, things are starting to come together. The very next one, I actually got my CRM here pulled up. It wasn't far after that, because I think the next one that came into my deal flow was I think I actually bought it. I think the next one was a fourplex that I bought.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So with me, I'm an investor first, right? So every property that comes into my deal flow, I figure out, figure a way to buy it. Okay. First of all. And then if it doesn't fit my criteria, or if I'm too busy with other projects, or Like here recently, I've been assigning pretty much everything I get under contract because there was some uncertainty. I was all about building some cash reserves and stuff. So I've been assigning everything as of late, but I always try to buy.
Gotcha. That's cool. So yeah, you've got a initial rental property as your first deal, and then you bought that fourplex. You've been assigning it, but you're actually wanting to buy more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. If it's a great deal, I want to buy it.
Yeah, that's the best part of this is the fact that, you know, we have the opportunity to source our own deals. Yep. And then pick and choose the best ones, right? It's so good.
Yeah, awesome. So for those of you guys listening, welcome to the webinar. The format tonight's going to be Q&A, and we're with Bob Sleeves from Short Sleeves. That's your company name, right? Short Sleeves Investment?
Short Sleeves Real Estate.
Short Sleeves Real Estate. And then you might also see we've got Hannah and Elise on. They're muted, but they're standing by to give us support. And Elise is in the chat answering your questions about DealMachine. So if you have questions about DealMachine, if you have questions for Bob, type them in the chat. So now the question for Bob, we're going to bring you on, and you'll get to have a discussion with us here live. So be ready for that too. And then Hannah, she's posting links to stuff we're talking about. So she's posted a link to the Freedom Formula that was mentioned earlier that Bob just finished reading. Somebody in here. So Hannah is also going to start bringing some people on. So Hannah, if you see somebody, just go ahead and start doing that, and that'll be great. All right, so Bob, while we're waiting for that, can you tell us about your drivers? Because you yourself started out, but now you've got a couple of drivers.
Yeah, I started off with, as of right now, I have 2 drivers. It's actually a pretty cool situation that we have going. So I partner with a real estate, investor-friendly real estate agency, real estate agent here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Shout out to 5 Pillars Realty Group, Shelby Osborne and them. So what she does is, because she's just so fantastic at attracting talent. So as soldiers out process and they want to be an intern and become a real estate agent, they sign up for that internship and work with her. The same thing I'm doing right now for the most part. And she trains them up on how to be a real estate agent, but in between training and things like that, little admin tasks, they go drive for dollars for me. So in return, you know, a little quid pro quo, when I get something under contract, they have a lot of investor buyers. I give them a solid, you know, three days or so to push my deals out to their buyers first. And then if no one, you know, acts on it, then I'll push it out to my buyers list. Gotcha. So yeah, some interns are driving for me at this moment.
I like that. Hey, Saeed, can you hear me?
Yes, David, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
So I'm a realtor here out of Wayne, PA. I saw your videos, and I'm more about analytics and machine and, you know, using data, right? So in helping investors last year, I'm like, you know what, this year I need to do something myself. I have no experience as an investor, right? So I don't call myself an investor, but I help about 2 investors with 10 properties. They flip them, and I'm like, I got to get these leads. I got to turn them somehow. So Bob, one of the things that, you know, I was struggling with right now is, you know, you send out mailers, right? And you have the contact info. What I want to know is, do you call those folks first and then wait for the mailer to go out and then call them again? Like, what's your mindset about that?
So I'm all about trying to implement processes that are easily repeatable and you know, and that you can easily tell somebody on your team and they can do it within minutes, right? So personally, I don't know if this is the correct thing. I'm not deep into the numbers like I should be. I mean, I have a few KPIs that I track and all that, but as soon as someone adds it to my DealMachine, my wife is actually in charge of approving those properties and sending that mail out. So they get mail first. right?
Yeah.
And then down the road, I'll export that list and filter it down to, you know, return to sender with marketing complete. I'll narrow it down, and then they get a call as well from my cold callers.
Awesome. You know, it's one of the best thing ever. I mean, DealMachine, David, whatever your team is doing, however you guys doing it, it's an excellent app, right? And the customer service, I had a problem. I'm like, what? You guys helped me so fast. And
It's so good.
you know, I want to give kudos to you guys. You kept it simple. The system is very simple. So I'm excited, eager to know what I'm going to be and how many deals I can do in general. And I have an investment portfolio as a realtor, so I'm trying to help other, like, you know, realtors and other investors, you know, and then maybe 1 or 2 a year myself. So taking baby steps with DealMachine. So thank you very much for your help.
Sayed, thank you so much for the compliments. I would love to recommend for you to have like a consult with Elise on the budget planner. At the very least, we can send you guys the link to the budget planner, where on your own, if you prefer, you could plug in numbers and be like, well, how many deals could I expect to get? Of course, like, this is all an estimate, but it could be helpful in setting the right expectations. What market did you say you were in? Pennsylvania?
Yeah, Wayne, I'm about 25, 30 miles northwest of city of Philadelphia. You know, locally here, inventories are down upwards of 50%. Sales are up like 40%, so, you know, because of the pandemic. And I'm like, I got to add to my experience in real estate. So working with a couple of serious investors that flip between 5, 10 properties. I'm just amazed how simple DealMachine is, and it works. You know, it just the click-throughs, and you can change it to 14 days. I have actually set them up every 14 days. People get mailers, and I just got set up like last week.
Awesome.
And then I get a reminder. So you got, you know, compliment to whoever designed the app to keep it simple and stupid, basically.
Thanks. We're always working hard to expand it while also keeping it very simple. So we appreciate that.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
You got it.
The best part of that is the onboarding of drivers, right? You guys make it super simple with your videos. I just throw in the email, invite the driver, and they get onboarded within a couple of minutes. There's been multiple times when I brought on drivers and I got 0 questions, and they add 60 properties within like a weekend or whatever. Super easy.
That's always a nice surprise, right? You get the push notification and they're like, oh, you know, so-and-so added 30 properties.
Yeah.
And then you get a notification that the mailer went out. Watch out, maybe somebody calls. I'm like, is this really true? Is this following up with me? So being a realtor, using CRM, trying to remind yourself every day, you know, we are doing more work to remind ourselves than doing the, like, you know, regular work. So I appreciate those follow-ups the apps does.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sayed. We're going to say hello to Tato. Tato, are you there? Hello, you're on mute, but we can see you.
Sorry, I'm being a horrible citizen and I'm driving. Can you hear me?
Oh my gosh. All right, yeah, put both hands back on the wheel. That's fine.
Yeah, it's so bad. I am just curious. I have not used the app yet, but I plan to download it soon. Super excited about, you know, just kind of dipping my toe into driving for dollars. But when you do call folks after you've sent the mailers, just curious, like, how you initiate the conversation. Like, how are you, you know, quote unquote, pitching them or getting them to at least have a conversation about selling?
Yep. Yeah. So whenever we basically cold call somebody that has a rundown house, the first thing I would say is, hi, do you own so-and-so property? And then they'll say yes or no. And if they say yes, I would say, I'm a local property owner. Would you consider an offer on your property? You know, I want to buy more in this neighborhood. So a few key choice words there would be local property owner typically is better than saying, hey, I'm an investor. Not going to break the deal, but nothing too crazy. I would start the conversation off by just saying, do you own this property? And then would you be interested in accepting an offer or receiving an offer rather? And then typically you'll get like 3 answers. You know, they'll either hang up, or they'll say not right now, or they'll say yes. Tato, are you there? Oh, all right. Please stay safe out there. I guess the question was for Bob. I kind of jumped in there and answered it for him. Bob, how about you answer the question? How you?
Yeah. So when it comes to cold calling, I have a few filters. So I have the cold callers out of the Philippines, some VAs that do the initial contact, and it's a simple conversation. Their script is basically, do you feel like selling your house? And then they'll label them as warm, cold, or hot, depending on how soon or how willing they are to see an offer. From there, it gets to my lead manager, and then my lead manager will dig in a little bit more, she's actually my mom. My lead manager is my mom. Shout out to mom. I think she's on here actually. She said she was going to join in. So eventually it's going to get to me, right? And then by the time it gets to me, they're willing to receive an offer, and then I'm the one that has the negotiation and has those conversations. Really, it's nothing too crazy, right? It's do you want to sell your house? And I explain it to them that we are investors, we're home buyers, and we're in the business of purchasing properties to make a profit. So if you're not in the scenario where you need to sell fast right now, or if your house isn't distressed, then we might not be a fit. So, and then I can also line them up with a real estate agent if that's the case. So just help them out. But I let them know up front if, you know, I don't try to convince them to sell their house super cheap. Or I need to find out if they're in that scenario where they need to sell their house fast for cash and that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a simple conversation, like you said. There's nothing to really get too hung up on, right? You're trying to have a conversation and discover what their needs are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the biggest thing I think folks have issues with is so they have like maybe a script in front of them, right? And they're trying to read off that script and trying to hit all the key points or whatever, right? Just have a conversation, right? So, you know, you're going to need to know like the age of the roof and the HVAC. So just have those things come up in conversation. But the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now is after you build that rapport, right? And you want to give them an offer, give them a ballpark offer. So I just did this like before we got on here. I gave them a ballpark offer for like 30 to 40,000, right? So you do that. They were asking initially like 70. So I gave that low ball offer of 30 to 40 to after I built the rapport, so they don't reach to the phone and punch me in the face after I say that number, right? So you can always bounce back after you give them a lower number after you build rapport. If you come off the bat like, you know, real quick with that low number without being a friend, then there's a possibility they're going to hang up on you.
Got it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, it looks like we've got a new guest here, and says Steve. Are you Steve?
Yeah.
How you doing, Steve?
Am I unmuted?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, I had two questions I posted. When I first got involved, I asked the question if you were considering some sort of auto routing thing to get through a neighborhood. I realized the algorithm to do that's pretty bizarrely complicated, though.
Yeah, so good DealMachine question. Are we going to have an auto routing feature? And we've definitely talked about that, and we've even started it. And the way it would work is you could say, I want to look at, you know, vacant properties in this zip code, and we'll show you the next closest property to where you're at. And then on the map, it'll show you a segment on the fastest route, how to get there. So that's something that we've actually got like a prototype of. It won't be the next thing that you'll see, but I would anticipate that becomes a finished feature for you this year that you can use.
I see. Well, that would be useful. I wasn't thinking of that so much more as something that would wind me through all the streets, so I make sure I got everything in the neighborhood.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'll write that down, and we've also got a feature request page. We'll make sure that that's on there.
Okay, and then I had another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, well, somebody else see it. I typed it, now I forgot about it. It happens as you get older.
Okay, let's find it. Hannah, do you?
Oh yeah, yeah. The number of properties you have to have in your queue, the ratio to get a sale. What do you find is a typical number?
What are you seeing, Bob?
Say the question one more time.
How many properties do I have to identify and start mailing to and whatnot to get a deal to fall out?
Oh, I think David's pretty much hit it on the head. You got to add at least 200, man. Sometimes you'll get lucky, and then I got lucky, but when you're starting off, just expect to add at least 200 properties.
I see.
What market are you in, Steve?
I'm in the Reno area, Lake Tahoe. In Lake Tahoe, I don't know that
Okay.
I don't know if I can prospect Lake Tahoe because we have $10 million houses, and most of them, they can fix their own house up and sell it at retail. But down in Reno and Gardnerville and whatnot is a more typical neighborhood.
Okay, so in Reno, what would like a 1,500 square foot ranch cost?
400, maybe.
Wow. Okay. So in Indiana, you know, I found that it's like 200, 300, but that same home costs like 150,000 here in perfect condition. And what I've noticed is as you've, because I used to just say blanket 200, I've increased it to blanket 300 just to set proper expectations. What I've noticed is in markets where the prices increase, you actually need to increase that number as well. So like add 500. But the thing is, yeah, you may have to add more homes in those higher price markets, but you may have to mail them a few more times, but your actual profit's going to be larger too, because you've got a 400 versus 150 here. So I would not let that deter you or think, oh, I can't do this here, but just increase that number, your expectations for what that number is.
I see. I may need to buy several cars along the way as I wear them out.
It's still, yeah, it's same thing as if you were going to buy a list, right? Or do any other marketing method. In those higher price markets, it's just going to take more dollars to get a deal, but your profit's going to be bigger as well. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Yep. Bye, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Bob, you took some massive action there. I don't want my comment about you being lucky to detract from any of that, because you definitely put in the work, right? It just happened sooner than I would say somebody should expect it to.
Yeah, and that's why I want to throw it in there as a caveat, right? Is that, you know, and I've heard stories on these webinars where folks are hitting like 200,000, like $100,000 deals within like 2 weeks of driving for dollars with DealMachine. So yeah, I mean, that's the exception, right? So.
Looks like we've got Tom Paris on. Tom, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Do you have a video that you could turn on?
I do not, I'm afraid, not on this computer.
That's all right. We're glad to hear you.
I was just wondering how much you pay your drivers per hour? Or how do you pay your drivers?
Yeah, so I've recently realized I got to look at it through two different ways, right? So if somebody is you know, they have that employee kind of mindset, they're willing to, and they want to get paid per hour, then you pay them per hour, right? But I brought on a few drivers that have the entrepreneur mindset. They want to be wholesalers, they want to be flippers, they want buy and hold, but they just need a little bit of guidance, which I in return I give them that and help them through the process and all that. So I haven't personally paid anyone hourly as of yet, but when we close on a deal, it's first thing I do is I pay them $100 after they add 100 properties, just so you know you're covering their costs for their gas and stuff like that, because sometimes it takes a little while for those mailers to hit those mailboxes and for sellers to call us back. So $100 as soon as they add 100 properties, and then they're getting 10 to 15%. And we're in a little bit smaller market here. The wholesale fees here aren't that big, at least for me. I hear of other guys killing it, but I have yet to see those crazy margins. But yeah, they'll get paid $1,000 minimum, or 15%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Tom. Love it. Yeah, I love that in your strategy, Bob, you're giving them more than just the payment too, because they're wanting to be a realtor, right? They're wanting to learn something, and you're giving them something to learn.
Yeah, and as far as the interns that are that we're working with right now, it's really good for someone, if they're involved in real estate at all, for them just to drive the neighborhoods and actually see what's going on, right? Because there's been so many times I've been driving for dollars myself, and I just come across some random gem that you would have never known was there. So you learn the market, really. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like next up we've got Scott Jenkins. How you doing, Scott?
Oh, nice.
You're muted. We can see you, but you're muted. Awesome.
I thought I'd add a little life to the scenery.
Oh, I appreciate that.
That's the Bay Area for you. You gotta love it.
I love it.
Hey, just a few questions for you. How are you structured? Are you an LLC?
Yes.
Okay, so you pay your drivers 1099?
So this is something I'm figuring out right now. I'm looking for a bookkeeper, and my bookkeeper, one of them that I interviewed the other day, said if you pay them through Venmo and they reach a certain point, then Venmo will automatically send them a 1099.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's just what I was told. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still figuring all that out.
I'll have to check on that. Yeah, we pay our 1099.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure. I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. And what CRM are you using? You mentioned you upload everything into Deal Flow, I think. Is that the name of your CRM?
No, I use Podio.
Podio, okay. All right, we're looking at changing our CRM. It's not as performant as I'd like it to be. So I'm shopping the market right now.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm really looking into, that's what's great about DealMachine is that it has a CRM in it. So if you're just getting started and you don't have multiple streams of deal flow coming in, DealMachine is a great way to start. That's how I started with, I would just track everything on my DealMachine. Too easy, right? You don't need to pay the hundreds of dollars and all that. Just get started. It's the CRM's there, right? So don't worry about that if you're just getting started. But I'm shopping around for other things as well. Check out RE Simply.
RE Simply, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at those folks right now.
Yeah, we've been doing this for quite a while, and I started using DealMachine probably about 2 months ago, and honestly, I love it. I mean, I was the old antiquated guy with the pen and pencil and coming back and putting it on a damn spreadsheet and then trying to figure out skip trace. And this thing is so bloody quick.
Oh, I mean, so good.
It's already uploaded, ready to go. You skip trace them, and you're doing your calls. It's a great automated tool, and for drivers, I mean, you can see what the hell they're doing. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be cussing. I apologize. Hey, you're Army, I'm Marine Corps. We understand each other.
Uh-oh, devil dog.
Semper Fi, buddy.
Semper Fi. Airborne.
Last question, a DealMachine question. When I'm doing DealMachine and I'm out driving around and you click a property, you get the property information that pops up in your screen. How do you get rid of that so you can see the map again? Or does it just remain there?
Actually, I think there's an X in the top right corner of that you can immediately do that, or just move the map and it'll go away as well. Either one of those.
All right, I'll try that. I'll try that this afternoon. I'm going out to do some more driving for dollars, which I think is the best marketing tool you've got.
Oh, thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, we just added the X because a few others had the same question. So you can click that X or you can move the map and it'll go away.
Excellent. Last question, Bob. Do you do offers sight unseen, or do you ask to see the property before you put an offer in?
A mixture of both.
Okay.
A mixture of both. It just kind of depends on the seller, really, in the scenario. So in this market, absentee owners are, because there's so many soldiers that, PCS retired and they leave and they have a house here that, they just rent it out or whatever. So a lot of folks are out of town. I'll make an offer on the phone
Okay.
sight unseen. And then, you know, I'll just go along with whatever, you know, the condition that they say. And then after I get in there during that due diligence period, if, you know, if they weren't honest or if we find something different, then we'll have to renegotiate.
All right. Yeah, we got the same process.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to get an offer out before I even see the site.
Yeah, something that I'm struggling with right now, and I was speaking with my team about it, is that I'm not tracking how many offers we actually put out.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so that's something that we're struggling with right now. I have it built into my Podio to capture that KPI, but we just don't do it because it's not easy, right? So we have to find something easy for us to do
Well,
it.
that's why I'm looking for a CRM that's more performant. Right now, it's a
Yeah.
good old spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah.
Data was
Yep.
issued, the amount, et cetera. So yeah, I'm trying to get something that's more automated. So
Right.
Yeah, I would say, Scott, like, let's do another call after this because, you know, we separated out.
sorry, taking up too much time.
Yeah. Well, no, I love the questions. I just wanted to go more in depth with you on like what you need and what DealMachine CRM currently has to see if there's a match there for you.
Well, I think right now our major tool is DealMachine.
Yeah.
Honestly, from everything we've done and to where we are today. I mean, I've got my auto dialer. We were using a CRM. I won't mention which one it is because I don't want to diss on anybody. But it's an antiquated technology and it's too darn hard to use. So I need something. If I can find a platform that integrates, does cross-platform, hallelujah. So if you're looking at, you know, developing your database in more of a CRM fashion, man, you'd save us a lot of time.
We can help you out, Scott.
I've got somebody who's excited about that right there. So go for it, girl. You got it. Okay.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
guys.
much.
Thank you for your time.
With you. I wish I was on that beach.
Semper Fi, buddy. And thank you for your service.
I'll go.
Y'all are just knocking these out, huh?
Absolutely.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. I just wanted to ask Bob, when you first started speaking, you were mentioning that when the deals first come in, when the leads first come in, you have your wife screen them, correct?
Yeah, it's her responsibility to approve and actually send out the mail.
So what is her criteria? That's kind of more or less what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, so the same stuff that you hear about, man. So either it's going to be vacant, a tarp on the roof, windows broken, tall grass, mailboxes jacked up. We're starting to expand that a little bit more because we're pretty much hitting up dang near everybody in town. So we're pushing that criteria a little bit. But yeah, just distressed, junky looking houses.
The uglier the better, I'm assuming, right?
Ugly the better, man. Try to get the ugliest house in the best neighborhood. Oh man, those are so good.
Yeah. And then you also talked about I think it's when you go on cold calling or something along those lines, you said you export the list and you filter it.
Right. Yeah. So, well, I'll export it and then use the filters within the Excel spreadsheet and just filter out the folks that responded and that are already in my deal flow.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I have it built out. What is it called, David? Shucks.
What you looking for?
Zapier.
Yeah, Zapier.
So yeah, whenever somebody calls, we go to, I think we have to update it as one deal. And when it says one deal, it'll get automatically pushed over to my CRM.
Okay.
So I'll filter out all the one deals, all the things that basically the deals that I haven't spoke with the seller yet, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. And those are the ones you start your calls on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Hey there. How's it going, Al?
Great. How's everybody doing?
Doing awesome.
Good, brother.
So a question I had is for Bob or really anyone is, and the person before me touched on a little about qualifying leads. Obviously, a lot of the drivers you have and even, you know, whomever are looking for things like tall grass, distressed properties, you know, vacant houses. But I guess what disqualifies a lead when you get them. So if you see your drivers put in 100 houses, are you pretty much 90 to 100 of those you're gonna work on, or are you looking further into, like, at what point do you look further into them as far as like equity in the property and things like that?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't dig into the numbers or anything like that. They just receive the marketing, and if they respond to the marketing, at that point, I'll start, my team or I will start digging into the numbers and seeing what offer we could give them. And if they don't have enough equity, they don't fit that box, that wholesale assignment fee type of box, then I have my other buddies that I'll push the lead to. So if it's like a subject to deal that I'm not too savvy on yet, I got some buddies that will work it there. If it's a real estate agent type box, then I'll push it there. If it's something that I just haven't experienced, because I do it pretty basic, man. It's high equity. If the numbers don't work, then we don't close, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I don't dig into it until they call.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Al, do you have any other questions?
No, that was it. So far, so good. I'm just kind of taking it all in. So
Gotcha.
it's definitely helpful.
What was a big win for you this week?
Oh, well, for me, I would say I actually got a unrelated to DealMachine or anything. I actually got a foreclosure auction property under contract. So that was good. So
Wow, congratulations.
yeah, exactly. Right now, I'm kind of new to the wholesaling aspect of real estate, but I have done some rehabs and stuff like that. So I'm on my, I think, 5th one this year. So
Okay.
Nice.
yeah, pretty cool. But I want to obviously continue to generate deals and things like that, and more frequently. So this obviously fits that for me. So
when you say foreclosure, do you mean you caught it before it actually went to that auction?
no, this was actually an auction property. It was not pre-foreclosure. It was a foreclosure property, but the numbers made sense. And interestingly enough, so I actually have my license as well, my realtor's license. And interestingly enough, they misrepresented the property as a 2-1, and it's actually a legal 3-2. So I think that
good
actually helped
one.
me. Yeah, that helped me quite a bit. I think a lot of people, you look at a property and you're like, 2-1, what can I get? They look at comps, but I was able to, do a little digging on the property and actually having my license for that particular property actually ended up paying dividends. So, because I was able to even see some disclosures on the property from earlier listings. So,
Nice.
Wow, that's always something you like to hear.
Yeah. So I just, now I just want to continue to kind of ramp up my efforts and find more deals, because it's competitive. I mean, if once things kind of hit the market or there's just too many eyes on them and too many people just bidding things up. So I can find the deals before they, everyone else does. Obviously that'd be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So cool. Congrats on that big win, Al.
Thank you.
Excited for you.
Appreciate it.
Well, let us know if you have any other questions. At any time, we're always available on the chat.
Awesome.
Those questions in 5 minutes or less. And then thanks for joining us tonight. Really good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I had put a question up there. I wasn't sure if I did it the right way, if you even gotten it. For the first time, I actually went out yesterday and I was trying to use the DealMachine, and I was pulling up properties to check the information. So my question was, when you find the property, and do you do the research on the property before you actually send the mailer and call them? I'm actually a realtor also in New Jersey, so I would have access to, certain information that I can check. Or do we just send the mailer, wait, then call, and then do like the comps and the taxes and all that, so you kind of know like the range of what we're offering or what have you?
So yeah, this was I think that similar to the other guy, Al, is no, I don't do any research. So, because if they do reach out and they want to sell, then I'll just put them in that box, right? So if it's a agent box, if it's a subject to box, if it's an assignment box, Yeah, so if they reach out to me, I'll do my best to help them in whatever box they fit in.
Okay. So they don't like being a newbie to wholesaling. They don't get frustrated when if they're asking you questions and you can't come back with the, well, what do you want to offer and what do you want to sell for? Like, because again, you don't have time to check anything if you're not checking in advance. So that doesn't like discourage them from talking to you like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about or you know what you're doing, etc. You've not found that?
No, I mean, if they have that sort of attitude, I just don't really deal with it. If you know, if they want to work with us, then just work with us, kind of thing. Like, if they come at me like with some sort of negativity and give us an attitude, then I'll do my best to break down that barrier and try to build a little bit of rapport. But if they're coming hard in the paint with some negativity, then I just keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. I'll keep watching these videos and tutorials and everything and keep going. I'm very determined to get this done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
With you. It's awesome talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Somebody mentioned Waka Flocka.
What is that? That's what is Waka Flocka? What is that? I know. What is that? Is that a dance?
Something like that. Let's see here. Elise knows.
Oh.
We
okay.
lost some cred for that question.
Oh.
All right, let's see. Robert, Hannah, you got someone. I'm sure Hannah's got someone coming on next. I'm going to read Robert's question in the meantime. It says, started DealMachine 10 days ago. I added 300 leads. Great job. Postcards started going out about a week ago. Haven't received a phone call yet. If it's just a week ago, I think you're no need to worry. I assume all postcards are going out. However, I was really impressed with the YouTube video when David visited Quentin in Texas and used the skip trace, called the absentee owner and closed the deal within minutes. Yes, that was so ridiculous. Can't believe the camera was on. So far haven't received any calls from postcards. Many of the skip trace numbers are not working numbers. I'm spending a lot of time with outbound calls, using VAs. Well, I think there's a lot to unpack there. Bob, did you get all that? Hannah, you got somebody else coming on? Okay. Well, Bob, did you hear some of that? And did you hear his question?
Yeah, so do I recommend using VAs? So yes. Oh, you know what? Just today, I hired a virtual assistant to virtually drive for dollars today.
Okay.
Yeah. So so far I haven't received any calls on the postcard. So yeah, a lot of that, don't expect, any marketing guru will tell you, you need to touch that individual multiple times before they reach out to you and they're willing to sell, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what's so powerful about DealMachine is that it automatically will send out those mailers, right? So with me, I have 3 different templates, I think. And so, so they'll receive a postcard every 21 days, up to 6 to 8 times, I think. So yeah, you just constantly have to hit them over and over and over. So yeah, just keep grinding, keep adding. Like now that you reach that 300 leads, don't take your foot off the pedal. Keep grinding, keep driving, and something's going to pop.
Yeah, I think that's really important that you mentioned, right? Any sales advice says, 6 to 13 times, like kind of minimum.
Yeah.
So, I completely agree with what you said. Now, my question is, I know Robert had a hell of a start, right? 10 days, 300 leads, great numbers.
Yeah.
Like, definitely keep that up. Okay, don't slow down for at least a few weeks. I feel like if it's something brand new, as a business owner, like I always want to be the one to figure it out first before I hire somebody else to go do it. And I would you know, I would just say like it may be advantageous to do that with the calls as well. Instead of just hiring a VA right now if you haven't done a deal. I don't know Robert's background though, so I don't know if this is just a new marketing strategy and he's done deals himself already, or if this is like a brand new thing. But that would be my opinion if he was asking for it. Dan McDuffie.
Hey, so this isn't Dan, this is Tess. I run the back office stuff, but
Hey, Tess.
yeah. So my question for Bob was really just about the content on your mailers. Do you find any, you know, do you have a web page you feel that's important to put on your mailers? Do you find just a phone number and an email? Do you change your mailer every 14 days? Do you send a different one? Or kind of what's your path just as far as mailing?
Sure. Yeah. And I'm going to say a couple things, but just keep in mind, I haven't split tested anything. I haven't, you know,
Sure.
gone down into the weeds or anything like that. But
Yep.
I use the templates that Elise create. I think I was watching one of Elise's templates. They look,
Yeah, I use those too.
yeah, they look really good.
Yeah.
So as far as the photo, right? I have a photo of myself and my family in front of the White House, right? So this is a kind of a patriotic town. So
Okay.
so that's something that I decided to throw in there, right? And I've won deals in this scenario, right? So a seller's hit me up and they're like, yeah, I received a few postcards and I actually know the wholesaler. He's a buddy of mine. But on his postcards, he has his business logo on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you're holding two of them up in front of you, just think about, you know, which one are you going to call? The guy with the family in front of the White House or just this logo? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've actually received the call first. I'm like, hey, did you reach out to that other guy? Good. Don't worry about it. Let's do the deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I call up my buddy. I'm like, hey, I got the deal, bro. You know what I mean? So,
Now, do you have like a squeeze page or a website that you include on your mailers, or do you find people just like to call?
no, yeah, I do put my website on there. Yep.
Okay. And do you send the same mailer like every 14 days? You said that was your pattern. I thought you said every 14.
21 days.
21. Okay. That's what I'm set at. Do you send that same one every time?
No, so I think I have it set up. So I have 3 different templates that they receive. The first one is just like introducing myself and that kind of thing. And I don't go crazy with the verbiage on there. It's, if you like to talk about selling your property, please give me a call type stuff. You can call or go to the email or text. So I give them 3 different options.
Okay.
And so yeah, 3 different templates, and they receive those 3 different templates at least 3 times. I think I have it set up.
Okay.
Except for the
Do you
last
ever
one.
send a
Oh, I'm sorry.
template that includes the photo of the house, or you don't use those templates?
Oh yeah, all of them have a photo of the house for sure.
Okay.
I think that's what's so powerful about it, right?
Okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
you could add an additional separate photo, but it looks like somebody just added that in the chat link. So thank you.
Oh yeah, the signature, right? It's part of the signature.
Yeah, part of the signature.
Yeah.
Okay. It can go in there. Cool. Good to know. Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you, Tess. Thanks for running that back office.
No problem.
I love it. Man, lots of great questions tonight. Time's flying.
Good.
We've had it for 50 minutes. So
What?
come on, guys. Let's get all these questions in here in the next 10 minutes. And at the end, for those of you who haven't joined us before, we do like a demo of DealMachine. So if you want to see that, stay tuned after the webinar, after the main feature, which is Bob. Hey, DJ.
Hey, how you doing?
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just had a quick question for you, Bob. So what
Sure.
formula do you use to get your offer price to where you're confident about it? You know, with me first starting, you know, I put in the ARV times 70%, minus repairs, minus the amount of money that you want to make on the deal. but I guess just kind of being confident about the offer price. So.
Yeah, so that's the basic wholesale formula, right? So that's what I start off with. That whatever number that comes out to be, that'll be my initial offer will be slightly below that, of course. But the way the market is right now, in my market, inventory is pretty low, right? So you could even, if you have buyers that are buy and hold investors, you can bump that up to 85 right about now. And folks that are, all about the BRRRR strategy, which I am as well, they're willing to leave some cash in the deal after that cash out refi. So you can bump that up. So if the seller's giving you a hard time on the price, y'all can't come to an agreement, bump that up to 80%, and see what number comes out. And then the other way is to just look up cash buyers in that area and see what cash buyers are paying for similar properties, and just subtract your wholesale fee off of that.
Okay. How do you find the cash buyers and what they're paying?
Yeah, sure. So I use I got PropStream.
Okay. Yeah, I heard of PropStream. I use that too.
Yep.
All right, Dan. I appreciate that, Bob.
All right, brother.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, TJ.
So thank you, David.
Absolutely. Let's see what else we can answer in the next 10 minutes here.
David, we are cruising.
Yeah, this has been a good flow. I like it.
I'm catching a lot of hate for Waka Flocka.
You've been busy closing deals.
Yeah.
Denson, we can see you, but we cannot hear you.
You guys hear me now? I'm sorry about that.
Yep, all clear.
All right. Hey, so first of all, great app that you guys have going on here. It helps me a lot. I'm a first-time investor. I haven't closed the deal yet, so I'm really just tapping into the water and tapping into this whole wholesaling thing. In using the DealMachine app, I'm sending out mailers right now. Actually, I just got a couple that just went out a few days ago, and some that went out today. So my first question is, now that my mailers have gone out, what is the best follow-up now? Am I following up by maybe cold calling them, or am I waiting a little bit and then cold calling, or am I following up with? I know mailers are coming in later on, but what is the interval? I mean, is it in a month, 2 months? What's pretty much my next step right now?
So for me, I don't really have an intervals. So I'll just add them to DealMachine. So they may receive 1, 2, 3, 4 postcards before I actually pull that list and skip trace it and then put them in my dialer for my cold callers. And that's just kind of how I'm working it right now. I'm just now full time, so maybe I'll dial that in a little bit more. But just think about this conversation, right? If you send out a mailer, you send out 2 mailers, 3 mailers, or whatever, and you call them and you have that conversation, like versus cold calling, you can say, hey, yeah, we've been sending you out a couple of mailers. I just want to make sure you have them, right? Okay. So after they've received probably 2 or 3 is kind of where it's been working in my business currently. And as soon as we mention that something about postcards, they're like, oh yeah, you and your family. Oh, your daughter's so cute, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And then rapport's built already, right? So stuff like that.
Okay. So another thing that I had that was kind of interesting to me is when I am driving for dollars and I am sending out these mailers, is there an option now to instead of cold calling, is there something where I can maybe send out text message, or is that something that's coming in where I can automatically, the same way I can list all these properties that I'm interested in and filter them out and then send the mailers automatic? Can I also select these same things, or is this feature sometime coming out later where I can also send maybe an automatic text message, or maybe even a ringless voicemail, so I don't have to call them and they don't, because sometimes they don't answer. But maybe if they see that text message, they'll answer back. Or maybe if they hear that, ringless voicemail message, they'll get that. So, I mean, is that something that's, possible, that's coming in the future, or is it available now?
Yeah, so great question. is the ringless voicemail, is the text message coming? And, you know, we do plan on adding that in to the same app. So you can look forward to that in the future.
Oh, David, that's going to be money. That's going to be money.
Yeah, just send me my percentage.
We're working on it. We just want to make sure we're taking the time to build everything, you know, the right way. So it's super high quality, but it's on there. There's a feature request page that we build off of, and it's like one of the top things as well.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the app, you can say like request feature, and you can look at what others have requested too, and vote. So you can vote for stuff to keep bumping it up higher.
Okay, excellent. I don't think I have any more questions, but I mean, otherwise than that, I mean, I am enjoying this app. And like I said, I am a first-time investor. So I guess if anyone can give me, I guess, some good advice to, you know, maybe get some deals closing in, or get some people to buy. Because I had a couple good leads, but just running into like things where I'm making like that first-time, you know, wholesaler mistake, and, you know, either slowing it down or it's just not happening at all.
Yeah, Bob's got the advice. Bob, do you have the advice?
Bob, you have the advice.
Produce more, give more offers, man. Right? So it's all a numbers game, right? You have your funnel, right? So just fill that funnel as much as possible, man. So it might not be necessarily anything you're doing wrong. You just don't have a funnel that's full enough yet. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm also in a very saturated market too. So I'm in South Florida, where it's extremely competitive. So I guess to your point, I am trying to put as much as I can into this funnel, so to say, and trying to maximize my opportunity. But, you know, like anything else, I mean, if it was easy, you know, everyone would be a millionaire. So I guess it just takes a little bit of time, persistence, and that's really it. So.
Yeah, I've always thought about it this way, like anything that's super easy is something that everybody's going to do. So like the real riches are when you do something that's a bit more difficult that the average person's not willing to do. And I think most people quit too early, and that's actually their problem, because they didn't spend enough time to fill the funnel property and allow that process to take place. It may take a few months. It takes hundreds of properties in a few months. So I don't know, how many properties you got in your system right now?
Right now I have about 260. Of that 260, about 85 of them are already been marketed to.
85 are being marketed to?
Exactly. And the other ones, they're new, and I'm in the process of getting them marketed as well.
Okay, good. Those numbers look good. What's your price point? What's a 1,500 square foot ranch cost where you live?
1,500 square feet can be anywhere from 250 to 85.
Okay. Yeah. So your expectation, I would say, is like actively be marketing to 400 properties for a few months. 400 properties. So I would say do that. And that's going to give you a really good advantage to get that deal. So much of it is always about timing as well. You've got to do the work to put yourself in the right place, to be that person that they call. And that takes some upfront investment and consistency. And you're on the right track with 260.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I know you got other callers, and I know there's other questions, so I'll give that opportunity that time to somebody else. But thank you anyways for taking my call, and I really appreciate the advice, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
At least they're actually very excellent at responding back to this stuff. Thank you. I appreciate you too.
Thank you, Elise. Okay. Thanks for taking care of everyone. We've got Gabriel Johnson. Bob, if you've got to go, it's now 8. You're not obligated to stick around. I know you've got a lot of plans. But if you do want to stick around for the next hour, we'll take you as long as we can.
Can y'all hear me?
No, I'm good. Well, I'll hang out for a bit.
Okay. Hey, Gabriel.
How's it going, y'all? Thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I am 5 deals in, about 6 months into it, and I've really only been working one marketing method. I haven't done any DealMachine yet, but I'm thinking about it, just kind of integrating my current marketing method into DealMachine. So I'm doing blind offer campaigns. I sent out 200 mailers, and with each mailer, I actually put an offer, like a soft offer letter of interest in the mailer itself. And thing is, it takes a long time for me to analyze, 2,000 addresses, but I do feel like the the response rate of qualified leads is pretty strong. So I'm wondering how it might integrate with DealMachine. Have y'all done that before? And do you think that I'd get a better response rate from more, houses that are in a little bit more distress? Do y'all have any thoughts on that?
So I think I missed the most important part of the question where you said, I heard you say you're giving soft offers in the mail and you're having a hard time analyzing 2,000 properties at once. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering if I'll get maybe more accepted offers from a a physically distressed list like DealMachine. Have y'all had any experience giving, offers in the mail, or do you have a take on that? Do you think that, my response rate would be better from a DealMachine kind of list that I build?
Okay, yeah. So your question is our distressed property list better than lists that you can easily purchase online that everyone else is purchasing online? Yes. I mean, I would say yes to that. What would Bob say?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't do soft offers. I don't have any analytics on that, but the great thing about when you're an investor, you are providing them speed and convenience when they need to sell their house. And they need speed and convenience when their house is run down because they can't sell it on the market. They would have to spend time and money to fix it up. So I think that always outperforms somebody who's just an absentee landlord or somebody who just has high equity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I guess right now with it just being me, I'm spending so much time on figuring out what my offer would be before putting together the mailer. I think it just slows me down. So I don't know. I may just go direct into DealMachine and just go with the postcards or the letter. But it's just I'm just kind of trying to analyze, is it worth the time to even put the offer in there, or if my if it might just be better to send the blank postcard from a better list, like a distressed one from DealMachine.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I've heard of people that utilize this marketing strategy. So it kind of goes back to, is it scalable and repeatable, right? Easily repeatable. So it seems like it's taking a lot of your time. So there's two ways I would go about it, and I've considered doing this. We're probably going to implement something like this here in the near future. Is either train somebody to analyze all those properties for you, probably a VA, which might be a little bit tough. Or I know that what some people do is they'll just cut it at like 60% of whatever the Zillow says and push them out,
Yeah. And I'm kind of doing a tangent of that. I'll just take the average of like the Zillow, Truly a Realtor, and Realtor Track, and just kind of average it out, and then kind of take either a fixed or a percentage off that. So yeah, I kind of had the feeling that it would work better with a marketing method or a list like that at DealMachine. So just wonder if y'all had any experience shooting offers out, and what responses were like from DealMachine. But I'll just give it a shot and see what happens.
Awesome, Gabriel. I love the hustle. I love that you're getting those cold offers out into 2,000. That is a ton of properties to crunch numbers on. So
yeah, man. It's a lot of time on Excel. So it's that part's lame, but it's fun once people start getting back with me.
Oh, 100%. What brought you onto the cold offer strategy? Did you have any influence?
Yeah. So there's a couple out in San Diego who they do it with land, and so I kind of branched off from their land investing, the marketing strategy, because blind offers with land, I guess you can it's like fishing, shooting fish in a barrel, if they're tax delinquent. So yeah, that kind of turned me on to it. But yeah, it is, I think it takes a little more analysis with homes, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. I like the hustle. Hope you with the distress list.
Yeah, man. I'll let you know how it goes.
Please do.
Awesome.
You can be our next expert on here after you close 2 deals a month.
Yeah. Hey, I'll let you know.
All right, sounds good, Gabriel. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And next we've got Carlos, a familiar face.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Hello. How we doing?
It's going well. How are you?
Great, great. Thank you for having me. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to make it.
Yeah, you really convinced me when you say, bring me on now, or something like that. I was like, wow, this guy's got a pressing question.
There's a lot comments on there. They're like, oh, if they see it, if they don't, well, it's all right. It's all good. I'm still getting value. So
awesome.
But yeah, I'll keep it short. I don't have a specific question, but maybe Bob and you, David, can give some sort of an answer. So I flip in Southern California. I'm in Orange County, so it's very expensive market. And we do social media marketing for all of our leads. We get probably like 40 to 60 leads a month, and we put up maybe about 10 offers, and we close 2 to 3 deals a month. So me and my partner are trying to get past the 3 deals a month. We're trying to pass the 12 to 15 flips a year. We're trying to get to like 25, 30. So I'm trying to other marketing. We have a couple of guys call in, and then I myself, and then I have another guy driving for dollars. And we started doing using DealMachine this week actually.
Awesome.
And yeah, so pretty new still. So I was just kind of trying to see if I'm getting 2 to 3 deals with our social media marketing, and you're saying maybe 200 to 400 properties to get from driving for dollars. Do you guys think if that's kind of like, if that would be like the right math to get maybe 7 deals a month?
It's okay. So great question. You're from Orange County, one of the highest price markets there is. And I would say 200 to 300 properties put in per deal here in Indiana, which is one of the lowest price. For you, I would say like 1,500 per deal. And maybe a little less. But basically, if you talk to the operators that are doing like multiple deals per month, they're always spending many more times to get a deal in those markets than they are in like Indiana. Here in Indiana, you could get a deal. I think the big operators, they spend like $3,000-4,000. And so in Orange County, like you could spend $20,000 to get a deal. And it would be profitable because your ARV is so much higher and you can make so much more. But that's what I've seen is you should expect to add, 1,000 plus.
Yeah, and mailers are about 70 cents per postcard, right? Is that correct?
I think they're 55.
Okay. So if we're doing that, and then we also skip trade, so it comes out maybe about 75 cents a lead, and if we do 1,500, so we're talking maybe about close to a little less than $1,500 a month used for DealMachine, right? Or used for driving for dollars, because we do about $2,000 in social media ads. So we'll
Awesome.
Okay. So maybe like 3,500. Okay, so maybe around there. Yeah, I'm just trying to like run the numbers and see like what because also I see the driver adding drivers to your team, so I want to play around with those numbers too and see what would be better. Just trying to like scale. So okay, yeah, that's kind of that was my main question.
Awesome. Yeah, get a driver, especially if you've got a budget, right? You're spending $2,000 a month already.
Yeah.
Get it. Hire a driver for like $20 an hour, or somebody that can do it very consistently.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, you guys.
And use the budget planner. Plug that 1,000 in. Elise, could you post that in the chat again, or somebody? Forgot what it was. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Bob, how you feeling? Do you need a drink of water? Are you ready to go play with the kids? Are we keeping you family and your health?
Yes, I just got done reading that book, so that means we're gonna have to shut this off here soon, man.
That's fine. Yeah, I definitely want to be respectful of your time. I think we're going to transition into so many people are just like, I need to ask Bob this question. I feel guilty, but I want to respect.
Oh no. Yeah, we're good. The wife and the baby are over there playing it. I want to provide as much value as I can, man. I've been blessed so much with DealMachine, and so whatever value I can provide, let's bring it, man.
Okay, well, Hannah, then let's get a few more people up here. You got some fans in the chat, Bob. They have forgiven you for the Waka Flocka question.
Oh man, I should have been born in the 50s, I promise. Oh man.
Hi, Brenda.
Uh-oh.
There we are. Okay. I've got a couple of questions for Bob. I apologize for I've got to get off here because I'm trying to do this before I have major back surgery. So I'm going to be down for 6 months. I'm going to have back fuse. So it kind of gives you an idea. The question I have is, in my town, it's a university town. I'm also a mail carrier. And on my route, there is a new industrial complex going in, a couple of them. One is over 1 million square feet with I think it's a candy factory with distribution, but the one significant thing, that's about 1,000 new people. But the other thing is we are having built a Facebook tech center that's being built in our town. So it's going to be a huge facility. My question is, how far out in radius should I go out to property? We have real low inventory now. And what they're talking about is like those that are students here at the university, once they get out of school, becoming independent, maybe doing internships, and that they're going to need places to live. They can't live on campus. Mm-hmm. So my question is, how far out would you suggest? And do you just kind of look for anything and everything to see if people are interested? Because I don't know how much this has affected people with COVID, with people being off work and, pre-foreclosure and that type of thing.
So I've kind of struggled with this here within the last 6 months or so. It kind of depends on what your cash buyers are looking for, right? Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a cash buyers list right now, I would suggest you try to make that happen as soon as possible. It's not totally necessary, right? But it will definitely help. It will make you feel more comfortable with purchasing in different areas or getting stuff under contract in different areas that might be more rough on the outskirts of town, right? Because we have a certain area code here in my market where if I saw that area code, it was going to the side, right? But now that I know that I have buyers, I reach out to them automatically and I start getting stuff under contract for 7,000 or something. You know what I mean? So right. Those lower end areas, now that I know I have buyers, I'm not scared to market there. I'm not scared to put stuff under contract. So it would kind of go along with what your buyers are looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it sounds like you're in, where's it at? What market are you?
It's in Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you're in a good place to do deals. If there's low inventory and you can be that individual providing deals to investors, your value is going to shoot through the roof and people are going to pay you for it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do here before things change for me. And I'm trying to figure out how to get a couple of other people driving for dollars for me, get on my team so that when I'm not able to be out there for now, I'd like to be able to have somebody out there doing that for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I'm actually, I just went through a back surgery as well, and I was laid up for a little bit. Not a fusion, but they just, took off some of my bulging disc or whatever. Mm-hmm. But during that recovery time, you're going to have an extended recovery time, and you're laid up in the bed, virtual driving for dollars with DealMachine.
That's the one thing I'm not understanding, and I'm hoping that somebody could maybe send me a link or something for how to do that virtually. Because I also have a business partner down in Tennessee in Nashville. We have 2 flips right now going on. One just went under contract, and we're thankful because of COVID. It kind of made things a little bit difficult. We're going to break even. We weren't going, that wouldn't have been a problem prior to COVID, but it's $1 million home. So we just took, we had a lot of interest, but people are being very, very cautious for that number, 7-figure, that's a big number. Another one we're doubling square footage in that, and it's in a real good area, and it's a good price point that people are looking for. So not a problem. So I'm trying to get him involved until I can transfer down there in the future. But I wanted to get him involved, set up as well. So he can be driving for dollars. We can do this all together as well.
Brenda, I got 2 things for you. One, can you open up your DealMachine app and chat the support team your address? Because we want to send you something. And just tell them like, hey, David asked me to send you my address.
On help and support?
Yeah, and then the second thing is when you were asking that question, like how far out should I go? Like I know you said there was a Facebook place, and then there was also like something where university, I didn't quite get the detail, but either way, if it's university, picture like, oh, your daughter is going to go to school here. Like where are you going to pick out her house? And that's where you should go looking for houses, is try to put yourselves in the shoes and kind of use your gut. I don't think there's an exact distance, I just feel like it requires some familiarizing with the area and picturing like where you'd want to put your own daughter.
Well, there's a town about 45 miles away, and some people, because it's right off the interstate, so it's a pretty clean shot even during the winter months. One of my coworkers actually picked up a 4-plex for $30,000 in decent shape, and fully, it was fully occupied too. So they're out there. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive, but in town here, the only caveat to it is that our taxes are one of the highest in the area, just because it's the university area. But there's a lot of people who are buy and hold there too. I do know of a number of investors that do invest in this area. So and just to clarify for you, David, what I was referring to is that they're talking about those that are in the university that graduate may have internships, and they're going to need places to be able to live, because once they're done with school, they have to leave, obviously, the dorms. So that's what I'm looking at there's investors for buy and hold right now. I'm not in a position to do the buy and hold right now, but I am looking at the wholesaling issue or the concept.
And it's something I would suggest, especially in that college type area, is when you see any type of multifamily, add it. It doesn't matter what the distress level is. It doesn't matter if it's ugly or beautiful or whatever. Add it.
Yeah,
and
there is one specific added area that it's kind of a little pod. It's kind of like it's a war zone. And it's near the university itself that we've had a lot of issues with. And just beyond that is some beautiful houses, and that I have to do my research to find out where that boundary is, because we've had a lot of shootings in a 6-block radius of that area. But everywhere else, it's safe. But I've got to find out where exactly is that specific. I know that the streets that are notorious for it, but I need to know on a map where it's at so I can avoid those areas.
Understood. Yep. Understood. It seems like you're going about it the right way. Do you have any other final thoughts, Bob?
No, I mean, all multifamily in my market gets marketing from me. All multifamily. It doesn't matter. So yeah, okay. I don't care what area they're in. Someone's going to buy it.
Yeah, true. And I know there's probably people that are wanting to, I'm sorry. Just a matter of fact, just got a text from my partner. You don't know if those people that have the buy and hold, the rental properties, are wanting to sell, to get out of the area, to move elsewhere, to reinvest elsewhere too.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Okay. And David, just real quick here, and I'll let you go. You said the address, you're referring to my email address, correct?
No physical address.
Physical address, okay. Okay, I will definitely take care of that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brenda. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
That reminds me of the first deal I did. I bought this house for $4,000. Didn't really make sense, but I knew there was this place called 16 Tech going in, and it turned out to be a really great deal a few years later. I feel like that's kind of the situation she's in, with those areas that are pretty rough right next door. potentially.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, looks like we've got Patrick.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. How you doing,
Awesome.
man?
Doing great. Thanks for getting me on. I appreciate it. Thanks for the app. I closed my first deal about a month ago.
Awesome.
DealMachine. So I love the app. So I'm gonna flip this house. I should make 50,000 on this one. So I'm really excited about this one. I'm in the Salt Lake City, Utah market. But this is, I have a couple, but one question is I'm curious if you've found on the templates, if there's certain photos that you like better, like the layout, like I use the photo on the left and the verbiage on the right. I don't know how particular you are, but I've got a lot of leads in and I'm not getting as much of a response as I would hope, but I'm still, just that one lead my ROI is like awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still feel like I'm not getting as many leads as I thought I would be or responses.
Bob can solve all problems.
Yeah, tell me what you think.
I think it would go to, just marketing to them more, right? So some people are going to respond in different ways to different marketing. So send a postcard, cold call them,
doing that,
text them. Oh, okay. And then maybe try that blind offer stuff.
I have not put the texting yet. I'll have to talk with someone more about that. So that's something I do need to add.
Yeah, I haven't built it out yet because, all the conversations that are being had about it being illegal and carriers are already, they're already stopping a lot of the messages from going through. So I'm not really attempting to build my business around it, but I got buddies that are still crushing it with text messaging. So I just haven't went down that road yet. But it's that whole omni marketing strategy, right? It just reach out to them in different ways. And you know what I mean? But as far as like the actual template, like I haven't split tested anything. I just went with what Elise kind of put in there and I thought it looked good. And I think I used her same color scheme. Oh no, I changed the colors on there. But I think the very first one though that they receive is the big photo on the left where it's like, oh crap. So it automatically gets their attention, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, why is there a photo of my house on this postcard? I should read this. And then they kind of go through and they'll actually read the product that you disseminated to them, right? So I think I think you just have to reach out to them in other ways, yeah?
Are you sending out, so with mine, I think I've got it set up. I've changed it, but I think I have it set up. It goes out every 21 days. I think up to 14 to 15 times. I can't remember what I set up, but it's the same exact one every time.
No.
Switch it. Have you switched it up so there's a little variety in your campaign?
Yeah, so I have 3 different templates. The first one is just like me introducing myself. The second one is, hey, just reaching out again, trying to see if you're interested. And the very last one is the one template. It's like it's bold letters on top. And it says not interested, ... question mark, right? So that, at that point, they're more than likely not going to reach out, right? So that not interested is just like that very last one. And I actually received some mail, a nasty letter. Well, not a nasty letter, but it had that not interested postcard ripped up with a handwritten note that said, stop marketing to me. We're done. I was like, okay, that was the last one anyway. Sorry. You know what I mean?
I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one that's getting nasty responses. So,
but really that's what it is, right? Either you want a yes, a no, a maybe, or those 3, right? So to stop marketing to them or follow up with them or get the deal done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's really helpful. I think it sounds like I need to work on my campaign a little bit, like create a little variety in it.
Yeah.
And is there, this is, I guess, a question for the DealMachine team. Do you guys have like a consulting thing where I could like sit down and look at what all my leads right here, and maybe here's a better approach, or I don't know, like, I don't know what you offer that way.
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't you sign up for a call with Elise? Is that what you were going to say, Elise?
I would love that. How do I do that?
How does he do that?
I just do it through the app under the support section.
No. Elise, how do we do it?
Well, Ella just started barking right when Patrick was saying that, so I'm like, I can't talk right now. Pat, I'll look you up and I'll email you, okay?
Love it. I would love that.
Got you.
Okay,
Congrats
thanks.
on your first deal.
Hey, yeah, I'm excited. So the rush of getting that deal was amazing. It was so fun, and I really appreciate it, because if it wasn't for DealMachine, I wouldn't have gotten it. There's no question. So thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. It's awesome to be a part of that.
You need to also have a success call with David here, like pronto, my friend. So I'll also send you that link as well.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, we do that when you get a deal. I love doing breakdowns, and then we'll publish it on our YouTube channel.
You're a lot of fun. I love it. Hey, Bob, thanks for your service and thanks for your work and your help right now. I appreciate it.
See ya.
Patrick.
Bye, you guys.
Yeah, David, you've done a bunch of those calls with buddies of mine in this market. Josh Wagner,
okay.
Zach, Rico.
Yep.
Yeah, a bunch of my buddies. Yeah, you've done those calls with them. It's good.
Yeah, your market's got a lot of good players, it sounds like.
It's getting saturated.
Everyone says that. They've been saying that.
I know, right? Every market's saturated. No more wholesalers here.
I love it. We've got a lot of good cadence here. We've got a lot of good questions in the chat. We've got a great guest host, Bob. Let's get a few more questions in here. Okay, Al says, what do you say to people who say my market is too saturated? Well, I think somebody said it in every market. So I think what I would say is just like, don't pay attention to the other wholesalers that you see. Don't pay attention to that competition, but focus on getting that deal yourself. Focus on the things that you can control, which is your marketing and your consistency. What do you say, Bob?
Yeah, I would kind of, so when you actually do go on appointments, if your market is saturated, more than likely they've reached out to other wholesalers, right? Other home buyers of some sort. And if it works out to, you build a good enough relationship with them, which you should, ask them, right? How did you respond? Why did you reach out? Why are me and you having this conversation versus the other guy? And just kind of take those little bit of notes and then critique your marketing to be slightly different and improve. Really, what it is being different, right?
Right. Or just be consistent too. I feel like 95%
that's more important,
of the individuals in a market, they're not consistent, and by you being consistent, like that's a huge advantage. And then also, like, they don't really want to talk to 10 other investors to get the best price. They you need to give them a reason to close, with you now. And so I love that, Bob. You're like, the trust that comes from having that rapport is huge. And if you've got that up front with a postcard, those conversations are now warm. They're already warmed up to you. So it just makes a lot of sense. I agree with what you're saying.
So my mom just popped on, AKA my lead manager. She said Bob gets his deals because they love his mom. They love her. Oh my God, she's the rapport builder extraordinaire. They are so warmed up by the time they reach me. I'm like, They're like, I love your mom. I know your whole life story. We're best friends. I'm like, oh, my mom is fantastic at getting these deals to me to where I can negotiate them. It's fantastic.
Oh, I love that you got your mom involved.
Oh man, it's so good. She's getting paid, man. Mom's
Yeah,
getting paid. Love you, mommy.
Okay, I think we're going to transition now into a demo. We've got 30 minutes left. So basically,
Okay.
I'll share my screen, and Elise will help narrate while I'm controlling the DealMachine app. Maybe Bob can point out his favorite feature, or maybe he can go eat dinner, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I think it's about time for me to get some grub, brother.
Yep, that sounds great. Appreciate you, Bob. Thank you so much. We really appreciate
Bob.
time. Sleeves buys houses. I saw you have a logo too with like a short sleeve that looked like a house.
Oh yeah, that's my logo. Where are we at? This is my wife's doing, so I had to.
I love it.
Love that.
I know Elise is the marketer. She loves this stuff.
I love it. I saw it on your Facebook page, and also, y'all, we met Bob at Bigger Pockets.
Yeah.
And I thought literally he was lying to me when he said his last name. I was like, your name is not. No. But
People remember me, which is good and bad. So either way, I don't know.
No, I'm so for you doing this, like really. And I'm so happy for you. I saw when I saw you said you're doing full time, I was like, yes, yes.
No, thank y'all. Y'all are legit. Y'all are like the best thing that ever came to real estate investing. I'm going to run. I love y'all with all my heart so much. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Bye, Bob. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye. And we got our girl Hannah on here. Shoot. Oh man, this is such a fun webinar.
This was great. This is
Jennifer, girl, I got to give you a shout out. You have just been the best, giving me all the feels. Okay, so super excited. First thing I want to point out here, if anyone else hasn't seen this yet, and if you're asking like, you know, what is DealMachine? How do you work it? We just redid our DealMachine Quick Start, guys, and DealMachine Quick Start Guide, guys. Sorry, just morphed that into a word. And it is not going to lie, the bomb.com. And I'm not just saying that because David and I are in it. Our media specialist just did a really great job putting it together. So even my ADD mind can pay attention. And
shout out to Ty.
Shout out to Ty. So we really hope you enjoy that because it's really giving you, we literally are giving you step by step how to be successful with DealMachine.
That's right. And it's over here on the right-hand side. As you can see, we've got these success steps. And if you're on the mobile app, if you hit that little bell icon, you can pull these open and reference them at any time.
Guys, also, yes, David. Yes, that was where I was going.
Yeah, a new thing is this activity tab over here. So you can take a look and see what properties have been mailed, skip traced, added, etc. It's all here.
It's so legit, guys. Like you can see everything your team has done, plus like click into it, see all that, like the properties added. It is insane. Like one-stop shop. Boom.
This is cool. I didn't even know it did this. So Hannah added 12 leads on my birthday. And these
Good job, Hannah.
These are the 12 leads. You can see them all right here.
Yeah, and you can edit them all. It's insane.
Wow. And I haven't even left the main screen. I'm blown away.
And he's not lying, guys. He's really, this is genuine. This is genuine. Okay. This is, today I was on a call with someone and it said 35 mailers have been sent out. And so you could click on it and you can see every property that those mailers have been sent out to.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Hannah, what were these 12 properties?
You know, I'm trying to remember.
Well, they're in the list called Virtual Driving for Dollars. So I wonder if you were making a video.
A video or something for marketing, I'm sure.
Cool.
Good job putting it into a list.
And then also we have an upcoming webinar. I think we have one before August 13th, but you can always see our latest webinar right here and sign up for the next one. We've got them scheduled out. I think this one might just be in the wrong order. Do we have one before the 13th, Hannah?
I think it's Byron, right?
Yeah, let me double check. I'll get back to you in 1 minute. I'm pulling it.
Oh, you're good.
Pretty sure it's Byron. Byron and the Investor is going to be with us, and I'm super pumped about that.
Byron is awesome.
How can I update my app? Timothy, if you go to your app store, it should have a button when you type in DealMachine for real estate investing that says update, and that will be the way you can update. You can also set it up to where it automatically updates as well through your app store.
Also, just confirming 8/13 is our next one because of how the dates run. It seems far away, but it's really not. It's only 2 weeks away. And then after 8/13 on 8/27, August 27th, we have Byron.
Okay, perfect. So you guys can sign up for the next webinar right here. And it's already August. Can't believe that.
Best birthdays are in August, right, Hannah?
Ooh, that's right.
Sorry, David.
Every time you refresh, guys, you can see there's going to be like a different case study that you can click into if you want to be inspired. And there's also active snapshot of your deals and what status they're in, as well as you've got some analytics down here. What do you like about the analytics, Elise?
What I love about it is so with all of our VIPs, I will customize this, and I love that I can just be on the dashboard and I'll just say, okay, how many properties have they added in this last week? And so I can customize it, say, okay, I want it from Thursday to Thursday. And then that way I can keep track of how many leads they've added.
Mm-hmm.
And how many mailers they've sent out. If we've have it to where their process says they have to send out mailers once a week, and there's only 2 mailers sent out, that's when I send questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that it's all right there. And as we continue to build out, this is just gonna be growing. And I think that this is a great homepage to just check your basics really quick, especially that active deal snapshot with it showing how many are with marketing. That's super big. And you guys, I don't know if you know, I know a lot of you are like, what CRM should I use? We are building out to be a more robust CRM, but you guys can still use us for a lot of that, where it's like you send offer sent, appointment set. I had a guy ask me today, what if they call me and they say they're not interested? Mark them as unqualified or not interested in the lead status. So yeah, just like David's showing. So you can still organize yourself completely through this. A lot of you that are just starting out, there's not, you got to really pay attention to your budget here. Try to use this. I mean, my gosh, I think we all hack DealMachine in some way or another to meet our needs. So, if you guys have any questions about that, please let us know.
Good tip there. I was highlighting the differences between not qualified and not interested.
Yeah. We have a lot coming out, guys. So pay attention, because we'll be bringing it up and you'll be like, whoa, wait, what? DealMachine could do this? We're getting a lot of engines. What does demo properties mean, Janet?
Okay, so when you first start your account, you actually land on this map, and we add 10 properties that are closest to you just as a demonstration of what that looks like when properties are added. So if you see demo properties in your account, that just means those are the 10 closest properties to you when you started your account. So you can feel free to delete them if you're interested.
Bruce says, tell me about the pricing structure. Can you go to the pricing page on another tab?
Mm-hmm.
So basics $49, professionals $99, and then enterprise is annual of $2,990. And then these are all the basics of it. So, basic and professional, you get postcards at 55 cents, ballpoint at $1.75. You get 17 cents skip trace. And then corporate owned, it's going to be 34-cent skip trace. You get to have and set up repeat mail. It is one template unless you add the campaigns feature, which will have multiple. And then you get a deal finder. You know, as you go up, we basically made these plans so that I'm not going to read all of it just because I know you guys can and I want to make sure. But like we made these plans so that way you guys can scale your business. And make sure that we want to grow with you and not make you feel overwhelmed at first. So you continue to grow, get a couple deals, you go to the professional. As you go through professional, you hire more drivers, you go to enterprise. You know, we want to make sure that we're staying focused on getting those deals. When it says 10,000 leads, what does that mean?
Yeah, that means you can add 10,000 driving for dollars leads per month.
DJ, oh, this is my favorite question. What do you do about corporate owned properties? Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I do is if they're corporate owned, I assume, oh, they might want to join my buyers list because they've taken the time to form a business entity to hold this property. It wasn't an accident. They like intentionally did that. So they might want to be a buyer. They might want to buy more properties. So I actually have a buyer postcard that I send them. You can also skip trace corporate owned properties now as well. So let me show you first my buyer's postcard. I think I might have this on my other account. I do, of course.
The buyer's one?
Yeah.
Well, the buyer's one, David has, I mean, you can tell him what it says. Oh, there it is. I saw it. I saw it. Go up right there. Bye.
Thank you.
I got really excited.
We all got excited. Yeah, it says, do you want to buy more properties like this? I provide discount properties to investors in Indianapolis, and I would like to invite you to sign up for my buyers list. And then text or email the word buyer to get notified about the best deals worth 100,000, you know, selling for 50,000. And then give them your text number and your email number, and that's what I send to buyers. Like I said, you can also skip trace them. So let's do a quick demo of that. On the map view, let's use the map view. Let's use the filters and do owner type corporate owner.
Boom.
Yeah, so all these green highlighted properties are corporate owned. So click this one. I will add the property. So now it's a lead and it'll show up on my leads view. As soon as that happens, I can see that it's corporate owned, but I can also skip trace the owner. It's called Keep Indiana Beautiful. Didn't look like we could find an owner there. So let's try another one. All right, third time is the charm. What?
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna keep going.
See, this is how determined he is. This is
I wonder if something's wrong.
No bueno. Just while you're doing that, the actual home photo for the postcard is one that you either take or you have a street pic, which is an add-on feature that we offer that pulls a picture from Google Maps that'll go on there. So a lot of people who do virtual driving for dollars, I really highly recommend that. So that way you at least still have a postcard. Oh, hey, success.
Dang. I thought that I was expecting the percentage to be a lot better on that. I wonder if that was bad luck or if there's something we can improve there for the corporate. But anyway, yeah, so here's an example of how it works. This is the LLC. The business owner is DM Roth. And then we've got a landline and a mobile number. And we can reach out that way. So you can try it, and you can keep track if the number's not good, so you don't call it again. but that's how you would do it.
Also, yeah, guys, in your mobile device, it'll actually say like call number at the bottom. And so you can actually like press that and it'll go into your phone. So you can just go ahead and call them. Same with email. It'll go to your defaulted email platform. So super simple. Bob mentioned that he used PropStream too. Do you have any sense of why he would need to use both platforms?
I don't know. Do you?
I mean, I know PropStream does list polling. So I know that's why a lot of our members use that. Stick around for stuff coming up. But I know that's one reason. That's honestly the only reason I know of, though. And we're all about making that organic list, which is something that thanks, Hannah. Yeah, Tevin says it's very inaccurate for skip tracing. I only know people using it for list pulling. But we're all about, also getting that organic list that no one else has. So.
Absolutely. Okay, is there anything else on this map that we should show?
Yes. So if you have drivers, can you show them how to set presets for your deal finders for highlights? That is a huge, and I'm going to say that in a better way that's going to explain it. But when you have drivers, you can actually now have it to where you highlight properties. Say you don't want them to add anything that was sold under 3 years. So you can do that. And then David's going to show you set that as a preset and set that as a default for your deal finder. So what I say to our members is green, good. No green, no go. Like, you tell your deal finders, if it's not green, you don't add it. I don't care how distressed it is. Now, you may have a different insight on that, but that's just something where this will help them add more qualified leads to save you time when you're going through it. Oh, nice job.
You have to click apply to deal finders. And now the deal finders see that.
Gabriel, if you go to settings and billings, there's an add-on that's called Street Pick. And that's how you would do the Google populated picture. And then you're able to toggle it on to where if, say, one of your deal finders doesn't add a picture, instead of your mail being held up, it'll actually populate the Google image. So that way it's filled in. Mm-hmm. How do I add the subject property photo? I'm not sure if I totally understand that. Love that. Could you go a little,
how do I add the subject property photo? I think what they mean is like they add a property and then they want to add a photo of that property.
Oh, I have a video on that. Well, actually it's coming out tomorrow.
This is how you do it. You add the property, you click add property, and then you add the photo with the camera button. And you can take a picture if you're on mobile, or you can get it from Street Pick if you've got that.
And there is an X on the mobile app to get out of that now. I know someone asked that earlier, but. And actually we just posted, and I linked it in there, but we actually just posted a video today that's literally step-by-step what you need to take to successfully drive for dollars with DealMachine. I mean, I literally go through getting in your car and turning the car on. Mm-hmm. So I would highly recommend checking that out because, I mean, yeah, we go over all the things. Angela, let me get it really quick.
So if you guys want to find our collection of YouTube videos, if you're on the dashboard, you can click right over here that says Basics of DealMachine Tutorials, and that'll show you a playlist. It's got the old quick start guide.
I know, it's being edited.
Okay. I love the first comment. It says, I have no idea what I'm doing.
We're here to help you.
Absolutely.
Here we go, guys. This is like literally step by step. D for D. with DealMachine. I'm linking it right now. Oh my gosh, Tevin, I've heard that I'm jarring. So I try to bring it down a notch, but I just get really excited about this stuff. AB, yes, sure can.
Let's keep going through this app kind of sequentially, just so everybody can see the full of what it can do before we have to sign off.
Yeah, no. So
somebody just said, can I import leads? So if you go to leads, then you can import your list over here. And you can upload any type of CSV. So let's do that real quick.
yeah, because the mapping is super easy.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to find if I have an actual leads list.
Timothy, are you a deal finder? Yes, Janet. We do. I will. Yes. Right next to that import list button, there's an add lead and you can manually add it in. And then Timothy, if you're a deal finder, it won't give you more because you'll have limited access. So you'll have to talk to your team lead about that.
Okay, so once you do that, you can map your spreadsheet to DealMachine. So this would be the full address. So we've got that mapped. And with the full address, you literally don't need any other column. So then you can just add properties and look up owner info. So that's how you'd import properties.
Jen wants to know if it's possible to print out a life-size map of my area to put it on my wall and map. You sure can. I mean, not on DealMachine, but you can surely map it out and say, I want to go here.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you're done driving, you can go and look at DealMachine and then see where you did drive and then map it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then over here on the left, if you want to take bulk actions, I've got 25 selected on this page, but I could actually select all 5,900. And I could take a bulk action such as, throw these all in the trash or something if you wanted to start over. That's how you could use bulk actions. What else could they do with bulk actions?
Big thing is putting them on different mail campaigns. So I know a lot of people and adding them to lists. Someone was asking about that earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you could make a new list or you could select an existing list to organize your leads that way.
You can also skip trace. You can export from this. You would just have to go to the more drop down. So a lot of people get confused with the more drop down. You can permanently delete them. You can change your mailing options. You can export. And then, oh crap, I just blanked on the last thing that you could do. But anyways, there's a lot of options.
There is. You can also edit these columns, how wide they are. You can edit what order they're in. So if you wanted to see the owner type first, you could do that.
Oh, I did not know you could do it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, we learn something new every day.
Some people like to see big pictures, so you can do that too. There's some big pictures.
Thanks, Timothy. Have a good night.
Bye, Timothy. Yep. And then next, let's go to driving. So this is where you'd see your analytics for miles driven and time driven. You could see all of your routes that you've gone. And I love clicking this picture so I could see the big picture preview of all the driving routes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you click one, it's going to show you those exact properties and routes over here in the big map. And then also you can see what kind of drivers you've got. So I've got 3 drivers on this test account, and I can give them different permissions and access to the CRM or the street engine. And then I can also, if you have the enterprise plan, this is what Bob was talking about, is you can build like a funnel. So you can have like an actual web page dedicated to your team that would walk them through what it means to work for you. We've even got like training videos that would instruct them on like what types of properties to find. You just have to select, how you want to pay them.
Yeah, that's a huge time saver. And someone asked earlier, there is a video for deal finders when they first sign up on the dashboard if you do have the basic professional, but this is just a really deep dive, making sure that they don't call you and ask you a ton of questions, and you can customize this. So that's like the big thing with our training portal.
Mm-hmm.
Also send a custom email to them. So that way you don't have to remind yourself to email them after they sign up. It just goes ahead and pew, shoots out there.
Right. So the next is the mail templates, which you guys have seen. You should have like a bunch of defaults in here. And then you can set up campaigns, which is like, instead of repeating the same mailer, you could send mailer 1 first and then mailer 2 next. I wouldn't recommend worrying about that until you guys have done like several deals. But if you're ready for that level of sophistication, it is there. And then signatures is like basically how you sign off on the postcard. You can put your name, your photo, you could put your phone number, email, website, and then return address. It's always really important to have that local to your market. So if you're just starting out, like you can put your home address, put a PO box. But if you're doing like 2 markets, you'd want to create a second signature that would have a local address for that second market. Elise, what else should I talk about?
I think you covered the main things. Go to settings and go to billing to see where add-ons are, because a lot of people wonder where that is. So this also, guys, you guys can keep track of how many leads you have in your CRM. So we do give like a little warning if you get to, 80%?
Mm-hmm.
Capacity, but just so you're aware of that. And then you can add your real-time driving routes if you're on the professional enterprise plan comes with it, or campaigns or street pick, which is what I was talking about with the Google populated image, which I recommend if you're doing a lot of virtual driving for dollars, because it just saves you a ton of time. Or if you have a team, because drivers will forget to add pictures. You just don't want to delay that. And then actually when you go out of here and you're back in settings, if you want to back out, there is where you can manage your lists, your property tags. This is where, say you want to delete a list, you can do that. Property tags here. If you wanted to add some custom ones, I added fire damage. And also this is a way to hack us if you wanted to, let's say you do cold calling and you want to remind yourself to follow up with certain people. I've made tags that are like follow up April 25th. And so on April 25th, I'll go to that tag and it'll pull up all of those properties I tagged that says follow up on this day. Mm-hmm. So that's something right now we are going to be coming out with like task management and stuff like that. But for right now, that's a really easy and efficient way to just hack us. That sounds so not good, but that's the only word I can come up with right now. If you get to 80% of your leads, would you recommend bumping up to the next package if we can, or holding the overage to the next month? If your budget allows it, I'd say go to the next package, because you don't want to hold yourself back from adding more leads when you can and you have the ability to, because then that just means that you're going to be getting more deals if you add more leads.
Mm-hmm.
Janet, I see at the top credit. So for clarity, once I enroll in one of the plans, is the mailing built into the payment or is the credit separately? The credit's separate from mailing. So, or from a plan. So the plan pays for like your data and your team and things like that. The mailing is separate. It's 55 cents a postcard on basic and professional. And like you see David's ungodly amount of credits up there because, you know, boss man, he got it going on. But you will be able to see that. And we actually have an auto reload. So that way you can not only manage your reload amount, but then when you have mail on repeat, it won't stop, which could really hinder your benefits from getting a call from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Alcy, please get some swag because I have so much swag that I can't even like wear out right now. It's really sad. Tevin, no, we both say ungodly. Skip tracing is also separate in the app. David's credit is making me depressed and motivated at the same time. I think that's the best term for that, Denson. Very, very accurate.
What were you saying can hinder your leads?
Oh, what I was saying is that the reason a lot of people wonder why we put on your auto reload. And what I'm saying is like, if we didn't have that in place and let's say like you didn't see the notification that said, hey, you need to add more money to your account, that just hinders you going after those leads and it ruins your repeat mail because it's just like, oh, well, I stopped. So the reason why we have the auto reload is so that it continually sends out that mail so that you don't forget, the leads keep getting mail, and that way it doesn't hinder you from missing out on a deal, because that's the whole reason why David built this. Yes, 55 cents for basic and professional. Actually, yes, Rosa. So how can I see how many deals I have in DealMachine? You can go a couple different ways. You can go to leads, or you can go to your dashboard and look in analytics.
I'm sorry, I was responding via the chat. I got distracted.
That's okay. Vicus, 70 cents a postcard? Or skip tracing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. David's answering that.
Now, what did you want me to check out?
See how many leads I have in DealMachine. And I was saying you could look at it through analytics or your leads list. So
yeah, over here on the leads list, if you click this checkbox, then it'll say, oh, you have 5,938 leads.
Oh, we're going to have so many people with DealMachine swag. Yay. Hey, you guys know that when you have a success call with David and you get a deal, you get a hat. So
what else? Is this concluding the demo, or do we have more to demo?
Hannah, so get your deal. We're so forceful here. Yeah, so guys, just so you know, tomorrow I am taking the day off, so I will not be on live if you usually are on lives. But Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have lives, as well as these wonderful webinars every other week. But check out the YouTube channel, subscribe. We're putting out videos every day to make sure that they are staying on top of, you know, all the new stuff that's coming out.
Oh, here's a spoiler.
Huh?
I said, here's a spoiler.
Oh my God, I didn't know if you were going to show it or not. Guys, if you stuck around, you're seriously getting the best. I didn't want to say it. I kind of hinted at it. I was a tease. Who called me out on that? Was it Tevin? I think Tevin. No, Hannah did. Hannah called me out on it. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to expand what the lists function do inside of DealMachine, and you could actually like build a leads list now. So let's say I live in 46202, and we could center the map on that. And then what we could do is we could draw an area around this really popular area called 16 Tech. There we go. And then you could say like, show me all the vacant properties. It looks like only one property is vacant there. So if we deselect, if we go all properties and then said like custom filters, show me all the absentee owned properties. That would be 43 leads. And so then you could actually build this lead list and put it into your DealMachine account and send mail to all of them. within DealMachine.
That was my brain exploding.
So we just wanted to share that with you guys because it's something that's coming. We haven't announced it yet, but I know you guys are on here late with us. We thought it would be okay. Hopefully we don't get in trouble, but
you're the CEO. You're fine.
hope you guys enjoy it. And then the smart list will actually keep tabs on any properties that are sold even after you make this list. So that way, if another property becomes absentee owned next week, you know, instead of 444 properties being on that list, it would add that other one, that new one that just became absentee owned. And that's what we call like a smart list. So that's how this tab is going to work. And you can see a breakdown here that all of the leads are pending approval because we haven't said, you know, start marketing to these lists yet. So once it's done, okay, it's done. 163 view leads. So now we're in the leads view and I can select all of these properties and then send mail to them. So I could say start mailers. There we go. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us for the full 2 hours. We love you and we are here to help you. So utilize us, reach out to support, join Elise's lives. And thanks again. Thanks Elise and Hannah for the support you provided everything tonight. Couldn't have done it without you.
So happy to help our fam.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Jennifer, you haven't even signed up yet. Get out of here, girl. You better be signing up right now.
Bye.
Okay, bye.